When you're out riding your e-bike, that steep terrain can be pretty intimidating at times, but with the right techniques, there's no need to shy away from it or take an alternative route. Today's video, we're going to take a look at how we tackle that steep terrain. So before we even enter that steep section of trail, first things first, we're going to need to drop that saddle out that way. If you're lucky enough to have a dropper on your seat, just drop that out of the way. Obviously, if you've got a fixed seat post, you just need to be sliding that down, get that seat out of the way. It just allows you to move around over the back. So one thing you're going to need in top order when it comes to tackling this steep terrain is your brakes on your e-bike. They're really a really important part of this whole process. Just make sure that they're in tip-top condition, got good pads, they're biting really well as well. There's no point trying to tackle stuff like this with poor brakes. So when tackling this sort of terrain, you're going to need a big, aggressive, knobbly tyre, really going to bite into that dirt or gravel when you're going to need it most. You need a real predictable tyre, not one that's going to be sliding around all over the place. The bigger, the better when it comes to tackling this big terrain. Okay, first things first, before I even tackle this chute, I'm going to put my bike down, walk the line first, just have a look at that run up first, just make sure that's clear of obstacles. Take note whether it's uphill, downhill, flat, because that's obviously going to affect your entry speed too. Next step, just come to the edge of the line, take a look at it, almost take a mental photo of what's actually there. If you've got like an off-camber bit, I'm taking a note of that. I'm looking at the run out too, so I've actually looked at making sure that's clear of obstacles, tree stumps, rocks, things like that. So I can see that's all nice and clear. I'm going to take a mental note of this because actually when you come up to a lot of these steep chutes, the entry is actually quite blind. So you're not actually going to get any vision or any shot of that trail till you're actually committed to dropping in. So taking that mental photo and placing it in your mind is a really vital tip. Okay, next up, we're going to take a look at the run-in. I can see this just by looking at it, it's slightly uphill. So that means I'm going to have to come into this with a little bit more speed than I would on a regular flat drop, because obviously as I'm coming in, that bike's going to want to slow down. And obviously if it slows down too much, it means I'm going to lose my balance towards the end. So if I'm coming here too slow, the bike's going to want to stall and maybe let that front wheel squirm as it goes in. So you need a bit more momentum to keep that bike traveling straight. I can remember that photo that I've taken in my head from the line that I want to attempt. So I just come in, I'm coming in, just making sure I've got nice speed, my feet are nice and level, and I'm really committed to that line. Nice little tip for you as well, if it's really blind and really steep, so actually get your line sorted, look at where your wheel is, just make a nice little scuff on the floor or a front wheel skid, or place a couple of rocks either side of your desired line. That way you know when you commit to that you're going to be on the right line, especially if there's either drops either side or something sketchy. You know that if you aim for that, it's going to be the way you're going to be going down that chute. So I can't really stress how important commitment is when it comes, especially to this part of your zone, before you drop into that steep line. You really need to have everything clear in your head. You need to have everything sorted, be it that entry speed, your footwork, your mentality, your commitment to that line needs to be done at least 2 bike lengths before you get into the actual line. So if you're coming into here and having second thoughts, back out before it's too late. Okay, so let's talk about where you need to be on that bike as soon as you drop into that steep bit of terrain. As soon as that front wheel crests and drops into the face, you need to get that weight immediately over the back of the bike. And I mean literally right over that rear axle. Your bum needs to be behind the saddle, really driving those tyres into the ground to ensure you've got maximum braking surface. Get those arms pushed out in front of you nice and straight, nice and not stiff, but just enough resistance in there to get on your line, pushing you backwards, keeping you behind the bike. You want to drop those heels in, pushing into the pedals, keep that head up, looking ahead on that desired line. When it comes to braking, you want to be slightly biased towards that rear brake. When you're skidding down these steep stuff, it doesn't matter so much of that back wheel skidding and sliding around. You want to brake with the front brake, but not enough for it to skid. You want to keep allowing that front wheel to turn. Obviously that gives you traction and steering on the bike. So that front wheel skids, you've got no steering, no traction, it's probably going to lead in a crash. So modulation is absolutely key when it comes to tackling this steep terrain. Okay, so you've tackled the steep terrain, you think you've got it conquered, but there's this nasty little one left. It's called the G-out. The G-out is actually where that steep terrain meets the flat ground. Sometimes on the big hit stuff and the real steep stuff, you can actually get spat over the handlebars if you're not ready for it. What you need to do to conquer that is just keep that weight back. If you start relaxing and moving that weight forward as you come into the flat ground, it can actually cause you to get bucked over the handlebars. So as soon as you're coming in, keep that weight back. So once you've got that technique dialed in on the smaller stuff, it's time to move on to things like this monster behind me. This is a pretty sizable roll in, but it's actually exactly the same technique as what we've learned on that smaller stuff. Things like this just require a bit more confidence and commitment. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video on how to tackle steep terrain. It's all about confidence and commitment to it, getting your weight back, getting those pedals level, all those little things. You just need to practice, start small and build it up, and surely enough, you'll be moving on to big steep chutes. But if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to check out the rock where we flip steep gradients on the head and go uphill. One of our biggest climbs to date. That's a really epic video, so check that one out. Don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, to give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the EMBN. Drop us some comments in the box below, and see you in the next one.